Here's how not to traumatize your generator/manifesting generator child. If you have those kinds of kids, save this. And if you know someone with those kinds of kids, send this to them. Although the generator and manifesting generator are different types, they both have something in common that is very important, and it's this defined sacral right here. It's incredibly important that your generator/manifesting generator child has a solid relationship with their sacral, meaning that they're going to get these like noises, and you want them to listen to those. Okay, that's their internal compass. So the first and most important thing to do with your child is to not force them to use yes, no, please, thank you, and all that stuff. Like the uh-huhs and uh-uhs are fine. And if they are using words, don't pay attention to what they're saying. Pay attention to how they're saying it. This sacral lets you know whether they're turned on and there's energy for it, or they're turned off and there's not energy for it. Especially if your child has undefined centers. These are defined centers, but if they have undefined awareness centers, they will very quickly learn to lie and cover up their sacral energy if it makes you happy. And again, depending on which awareness center they have open, it's going to be for a different reason, but you don't want that happening. You don't. Second thing is bedtime is when they're tired, not when you want to go to bed. So if you want to go to bed at a reasonable hour, make sure that this energy is satisfied during the day. Because if it's not satisfied during the day and they're exhausted when it's time for bed, they're going to be up. Thing number 3, provide them with a structure so that they can exhaust their sacral energy. Gens and man-gens thrive when there's a structure because it's reliable, right? They can like go through the system, and at the end of it, they know there's going to be some kind of result. Involve them in your yard work, involve them in your cooking, involve them in things that you wouldn't normally involve a child in because they're not a child. They're just a small human being. Tip number 4, do your best to be mindful of your responses to their responses. Your kid might be like, and you do not want to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, like be really mindful about that. When they go like, okay, especially if your sacral is undefined, don't be activated by that. Notice I didn't say triggered. Don't be activated by that, okay? And if you are activated by that, work on that. You know how they say children are our teachers? It's not because they're going to sit us down and teach us lessons about spirituality. It's because they're going to push our buttons, and we can either choose to get better or reactive and traumatize them. And thing number 5, when you're speaking to them and they're a little bit older, okay, don't ask them open-ended questions. Don't say stuff like, hey, when are you going to clean your room? Say things like, hey, do you have energy to clean your room? Do you have time to clean your room? Because of course we know if we ask, do you want to clean your room? They're probably going to say no, but they probably have time and they probably have energy. And if you've established sacral responses already in their lives and you ask something like, hey, do you have time to clean your room? And they're like, got them. It's just the right amount of manipulation. You know what I mean? As parents, children are relying on us to manipulate them in certain ways, especially because the rest of the world is already manipulating them. But instead of manipulating them from a place of, I want you to be a good human so that you can be a part of society, so that you can make me proud, blah, 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 we're going to use their body graph to manipulate them and preserve what is already there and not let the external world come in and manipulate. We're gonna cancel out the manipulation that the external world is doing. You got me? Couple things at the end here. If you don't have their body graph, just go on my website, reikimarco.com, generate one. It's totally free. And if you want to invest $20 or $35 in your child's development so that they are developing into themselves and not some Frankenstein creature that society or your unconscious paradigm wants them to be, you can get their custom report after generating their body graph on my website. Again, it's only going to cost either $20 for the budget version or $35 for the full-blown shebang. I'm talking every center, every channel, every gate. It's all explained, even these arrows up here. All of that is available via reikimarco.com. Thanks for tuning in. And again, if you know somebody that has generator children, send this to them.